Chapter 171 Danger Arrives. Activate the technique to stabilize your cultivation, Blood Lotus shouted in an icy voice. Lin Xiaoxiao has only just awakened her cultivation physique, yet her strength has already increased so dramatically. It seems that the physique she possesses is not simple. The way of heaven is always fair. Anything that is unreasonable will inevitably face a terrible tribulation. Therefore, Xiuxian was extremely nervous. Upon hearing Lord Blood Lotus's words, Lin Xiaoxiao stopped her playful antics and floated in mid-air, closing her eyes and concentrating, gathering the scattered starlight around her. At this moment, more and more light gathered around Lin Xiaoxiao's body, and a long-suppressed life force burst forth. The moonlight filled the sky, pure and cold, casting a layer of white frost over the surrounding space. At the same time, strange celestial phenomena occurred. What was once bright daylight with the sun high in the sky suddenly darkened over a radius of thousands of miles. Then a new moon appeared in the sky, casting a hazy white light. A beam of holy moonlight slanted down from the crescent moon, enveloping Lin Xiaoxiao's body, and her previously stagnant cultivation level rapidly increased again. Early nascent soul stage, mid-nascent soul stage, directly pushed Lin Xiaoxiao's cultivation to the early deity transformation stage. Lin Xiaoxiao achieved a level that many cultivators strive for their entire lives but fail to reach so easily. However, upon seeing Lin Xiaoxiao's cultivation advance to the nascent soul stage, Xiuxian was not happy. Instead, her expression gradually became serious, and her hands unconsciously clenched. Such an extraordinary physique is probably even more terrifying than his reverse lotus-devouring Buddha body. He frowned and looked up at the new moon in the sky. Sigh, I'm afraid there's no chance. Blood Lotus sighed inwardly, unable to fathom how terrifying the tribulation Lin Xiaoxiao was about to face would be. How could a young girl who has just entered the world of cultivation and has only a superficial understanding of cultivation knowledge possibly survive? She would probably be reduced to ashes under the heavenly tribulation. Faint, ethereal music could be heard in the air, as if celebrating Lin Xiaoxiao's awakening. Under the bright moonlight, the plants grew even more lush, and the animals quietly enjoyed the moonlight's baptism. Only humans looked up at the newly appeared moon with curiosity, while mortals prostrated themselves on the ground, not daring to desecrate this divine miracle. Not far from the Blood Lotus, the Buddha of Rebirth and the Buddha of Joy have already caught up. What's going on? The Buddha of Rebirth paused in mid-air, looking up at the new moon that had appeared. The two were tracking the Blood Lotus when the sudden appearance of the strange phenomenon startled them. I wonder, could such a strange celestial phenomenon be the appearance of some ancient ruins? The joyful Buddha uttered his conjecture. We'll find out once we go and see. Anyway, it's in the same direction as our journey, the Buddha of Rebirth said softly, looking in the direction indicated by the mark in his hand. Without further delay, the two quickly walked forward. If the ruins really do appear, this would be an opportunity for the two of them. And a ruin that can produce such a large-scale phenomenon must contain many treasures. Just thinking about it is incredibly exciting. As the strange phenomenon continued for longer, Xiuxian's expression changed, and she looked up at the sky in confusion. So much time has passed, why hasn't heaven sent down a test yet? Blood Lotus frowned, a hint of confusion in her heart. This is truly contrary to the natural order of things. Any extraordinary physique, rare and precious treasures, or cultivator's increased strength must undergo the test of the heavenly Tao. This is the rule of heaven, which maintains balance so that the world can function normally. Blood Lotus's gaze fell on Lin Xiaoxiao. All this abnormality was caused by her. Could it be that Lin Xiaoxiao's constitution is extraordinary, exempting her from the trials of heaven? Thinking of this, while she was happy for the little guy, she also thought of herself, and Xiuxian's face immediately turned ugly. Although he was born prematurely and did not experience the heavenly tribulation, he will inevitably face a terrifying test from heaven in order to recover. This process is unavoidable. Seeing that Lin Xiaoxiao's heaven-defying physique allows her to avoid facing the heavenly tribulation, I feel that the way of heaven is unfair. Then a self-deprecating smile appeared on his face. What a lucky little guy. Looking at Lin Xiaoxiao, who was radiating pure and holy moonlight, Xiuxian felt a little dazed. He seemed to understand. Around Lin Xiaoxiao, plants grew, flowers bloomed, and moonlight shone around her. Her birth brought vitality and beauty to the world, and heaven and earth celebrated with joy. Faced with this newly born moon spirit, how could heaven bear to send down a test? Lin Xiaoxiao slowly opened her eyes, looked at Xiuxian's figure, her eyebrows and eyes curving into crescent moons as she ran towards Xiuxian's location. As she moved, the moonlight automatically gathered into a pure white path of light, supporting her body. Lord Blood Lotus. Just as Lin Xiaoxiao was about to pounce on her, Xiuxian used her hand to stop her head. He ignored the somewhat disappointed look on Lin Xiaoxiao's face. Looking up at the strange phenomenon gradually disappearing in the sky, the purifying light emanating from Lin Xiaoxiao's body, who had awakened her constitution, made him feel a slight resistance. It was as if it wanted to melt away this monster, which was formed from the fusion of the flesh and blood of countless Buddhist cultivators. His birth was for destruction, while Lin Xiaoxiao's birth meant life. The two seemed to be born to be on opposite sides. Xiuxian looked at Lin Xiaoxiao, who had grown much taller, her gaze filled with complex emotions. He saved her out of kindness, but now that she has the ability to protect herself, it would be more dangerous for her to stay with him. Lord Blood Lotus, many unfamiliar memories have appeared in my mind. They seem to be cultivation techniques or something like that. Lord Blood Lotus, do you know about the Holy Radiance Moon Spirit Body? It's a very powerful physique with healing effects. Xiaoxiao will be able to help you in the future. Lord Blood Lotus. Lin Xiaoxiao spoke happily, and was even happier that she could finally help Xiuxian. She didn't want to be a useless burden. Xiaoxiao, Xiuxian called out in a low voice. Lin Xiaoxiao looked up in surprise, a hint of joy flashing through her heart. This was the first time Lord Blood Lotus had called her by her name. But when she met Blood Lotus's gaze, her heart suddenly tightened, and she felt that something bad was about to happen. He couldn't help but reach out and tightly grasp the hem of Xiuxian's clothes. Let's break up. It's dangerous for you to stay with me. No. Lin Xiaoxiao threw herself into Xiuxian's arms and hugged him tightly. This time, Blood Lotus didn't push him away, but gently stroked his head. Grow up well, and I hope we'll have a chance to meet again. No, Xiaoxiao isn't afraid of danger. Xiaoxiao is very capable now. Lin Xiaoxiao looked up at the Blood Lotus, with glistening tears in the corners of her eyes. Blood Lotus turned her head away, avoiding Lin Xiaoxiao's gaze. A circle of black and red energy spread out, gently pushing Lin Xiaoxiao away. But at that moment, the entire space suddenly froze, and beams of golden light rose up around it, forming a golden shield that pressed down on the location of the Blood Lotus. A solemn and grand Buddhist chant echoed in the air. Buddha's disciple, surrender now. You can't escape today. Chapter 172 The Fall of the Blood Lotus. Faced with the sudden strange phenomenon, Xiuxian pulled Lin Xiaoxiao back and protected her behind her. The entire space was instantly frozen, and streaks of golden Buddhist light intertwined, forming a huge cage. High in the sky, two majestic Buddha statues stood in mid-air, radiating dazzling Buddhist light, their eyes looking down disdainfully at the figures below. A hint of joy flashed across their faces. The Buddha's disciple is finally back under their control. Lin Xiaoxiao leaned against Xiuxian's back, her small hands tightly gripping the hem of Xiuxian's clothes, her eyes glaring fiercely at the two bald heads in the sky. From the moment Blood Lotus was injured and fell into her home, and then Buddhist cultivators came to search, she knew that Blood Lotus had a powerful and terrifying enemy, and now the enemy had finally arrived. During this time, Lady Blood Lotus had been leading him on the run, and there was always a hint of unease between her brows, all of which foreshadowed the arrival of this moment. The reason why Lord Blood Lotus wanted to separate from me before must have been related to the two bald heads in the sky. Therefore, Lin Xiaoxiao naturally did not have a good impression of the two people in the sky. Faced with the terrifying pressure surrounding her, Lin Xiaoxiao tried her best to remain calm, not wanting her cowardice to affect Lord Blood Lotus. Watching Lord Blood Lotus's retreating figure, A smile flashed across Lin Xiaoxiao's face. She was not afraid of danger, as long as she stayed by Lord Blood Lotus's side. Run! Blood Lotus's icy voice pulled Lin Xiaoxiao back to reality. The surrounding golden shield was rapidly contracting, trying to trap the two of them inside. Without hesitation, Blood Lotus summoned her natal spiritual treasure. The Black Lotus platform flew to Lin Xiaoxiao's feet, lifting her up, and a Black Lotus phantom protected her inside. Lord Blood Lotus. Lin Xiaoxiao's heart skipped a beat, and she pounded her fist on the Black Lotus protective barrier. For some reason, she was terrified, as if something bad was about to happen. Blood Lotus didn't look at Lin Xiaoxiao. Her eyes were filled with determination. Her figure transformed into a black and red stream of light and crashed into the Buddhist light barrier. Boom! With a deafening roar, Blood Lotus's body exploded. In the final moment, he knew there was no way out. The fact that these two bold men were able to find his location so quickly and accurately must be related to the item he obtained at the Pengyun auction. He examined the Buddha seal within his body. The heavenly Zen Buddha seal, which had been dimmed, was now shimmering with points of Buddha light. Although the light was much dimmer than the other two marks, it was enough to track his location. With 3 Buddha seals locking him in, he had nowhere to escape. Since that's the case, we might as well fight for a chance of survival for that girl who is as pure as moonlight. All of this happened so fast that Lin Xiaoxiao stood there stunned, unable to believe what was happening before her eyes. In the sky, the Buddha of Rebirth and the Buddha of Joy also frowned slightly. They hadn't expected the Buddha's disciple to be so decisive. This wasn't the outcome they wanted. What they wanted was a living Buddha's disciple, whom they could control. As the Blood Lotus self-destructed, countless black and red threads appeared on the surface of the golden shield, spreading wildly in all directions, like ferocious nematodes gnawing at the Buddha's power, actually causing a crack to appear in the seemingly impregnable cage. The golden Buddha light and the black and red nematodes confronted each other. The Black Lotus platform carrying Lin Xiaoxiao seized the opportunity, broke free from the cage, and disappeared into the horizon with Lin Xiaoxiao. At that moment, Lin Xiaoxiao suddenly woke up with a start. It seemed that Lord Blood Lotus. A heart-wrenching cry echoed faintly from the void. No! Lady Blood Lotus. Such a tremendous disturbance has already alarmed all around. Buddhist cultivators in nearby cities all looked up in the direction from which the explosion came. They saw golden Buddhist light and black and red evil energy colliding wildly and intertwining to create a huge cloud of explosion. As the layers of air waves swept through, vegetation was destroyed and rocks crumbled. Even the Buddhist cultivators and other practitioners within the blissful heavenly capital sensed the explosive aura. In the Wanbao pavilion, Hua Lao gazed at the horizon and murmured, "What are those bold monks from the western regions up to now? That eerie aura seems unfamiliar." The cultivators of Chihuang Mountain, who were still in the blissful heavenly capital, also sensed the aura emanating from the fluctuations. Qing Wan frowned and looked at her elder. Huang Shu shook his head and didn't say anything more. Amidst this fluctuation, she sensed a familiar presence, the very same monk she hadn't been able to discern at the auction. Moreover, the image of Lin Xiaoxiao appeared in her mind. That girl had always followed the monk. "I'm afraid both of them are in grave danger," Huang Shu sighed. With such intense fluctuations, and the monk only possessing the strength of the late-stage void refinement realm, it would be difficult for him to remain unharmed. "Elder, what did you say?" Qing Wan turned her head and asked. Huang Shu said in a low voice, "Nothing. I just felt that the evil aura was strange and unusual. I wonder what these evil monks from the western regions are up to now." Huang Shu has always looked down on the group of Buddhist cultivators in the western regions who spend their days studying heretical arts. On the path of cultivation, where are the shortcuts? Even if one's cultivation progresses rapidly in the early stages, everything must be repaid in the later stages, and encountering a bottleneck may even mark the end of the path to immortality. On a distant open space, a Black Lotus platform burst forth from the sky. The Black Lotus platform had lost its luster and was covered with fine cracks. Lin Xiaoxiao's eyes were red, and there were still wet tear stains on her cheeks. Her sobs were particularly clear in the quiet environment. Looking at the black lotus platform beneath her, her slender little hands kept stroking each crack, as if she could heal it again. Even now, she still feels like it was all a nightmare. Lord Blood Lotus, Lord Blood Lotus. Lin Xiaoxiao murmured, her voice filled with helplessness. The powerful and gentle Blood Lotus, who protected her until the very end, how could she just disappear like that? Lin Xiaoxiao cannot accept this. A dazzling holy light emanated from her body, continuously flowing from her palms into the lotus platform beneath her. At this moment, Lin Xiaoxiao's eyes were filled with madness, her gaze fixed intently on the black lotus platform. However, no matter how hard she tried, the lotus platform was like a bottomless black hole, swallowing all the moonlight without reacting at all. Cold and deathly silent. Lin Xiaoxiao slumped to the ground, muttering in a daze. How could this be? The inherited memories clearly stated that the power of moonlight has powerful healing abilities. She didn't know if doing this would bring back Lord Blood Lotus, or even if the broken Black Lotus platform was connected to Lord Blood Lotus. However, this Black Lotus platform is the only thing related to Lady Blood Lotus, and it is her last thought. She stubbornly believed that Lord Blood Lotus was not dead. At this moment, Lin Xiaoxiao had only one thought in her mind. She had to find a way to revive Lord Blood Lotus, no matter how slim the hope was. Suddenly, she remembered the Pengyun auction house she had visited with Lord Blood Lotus. Chapter 173 Zhou Shu and Zhou Yun's breakthrough. Pengyun auction. Lord Blood Lotus said that it is a magical place where anything is possible. There must be a way to revive Lord Blood Lotus there. Lin Xiaoxiao seemed to see a glimmer of hope, and she rallied her spirits, her eyes sparkling with determination. He took out the Pengyun Token and poured spiritual power into it without hesitation. She believed what Lord Blood Lotus had said. There must be a way to revive Lord Blood Lotus there. A moment later, a hazy grey mist flashed by, and Lin Xiaoxiao, holding the Black Lotus platform, disappeared from the spot. Inside the Pengyun merchant ship, Zhou Yun was meditating and cultivating, preparing for his next breakthrough to the nascent soul stage. Suddenly, an unusual fluctuation in the space startled him awake. He carefully sensed the source of the disturbance, and a look of joy flashed across his face. Uncle Zhou has broken through, Zhou Yun said happily. The figure disappeared from the spot and reappeared at the place where Uncle Zhou lived. Seeing Uncle Zhou sitting cross-legged in the courtyard, Zhou Yun stood quietly to the side and waited. Feeling Uncle Zhou's aura gradually rising like a tide, becoming more and more perfect, and ready to cross the threshold of the golden core at any moment, Zhou Yun couldn't help but feel nervous. Even knowing that Uncle Zhou's breakthrough was 100%, there would be no heavenly tribulation within the Pengyun merchant ship. But concern can cloud judgment, and Uncle Zhou was no longer just a family member in his heart. A moment later, the aura around Uncle Zhou suddenly condensed, spiritual energy surged, and a blazing sun condensed in his dantian. An aura of power belonging to a golden core cultivator quietly spread out. Seeing this, Zhou Yun breathed a sigh of relief, and a smile of satisfaction unconsciously appeared on his lips. After quickly regaining his composure, Uncle Zhou slowly opened his eyes. He had naturally noticed Zhou Yun's arrival long ago, and dared not continue cultivating, so he quickly got up to greet him. I am deeply grateful for your protection, young master. I am unworthy of such kindness, Uncle Zhou said, bowing deeply. Zhou Yun waved his hand casually and said, I'm not really a protector, I just came to take a look. Uncle Zhou, your breakthrough was a natural progression. Whether I'm here or not, the result will be the same. Seeing Zhou Yun say this, Uncle Zhou stopped being coy. He stepped aside respectfully and said, Young master, this way please. After Zhou Yun sat down, Uncle Zhou skillfully took out the tea set and began to brew tea. During this time, Uncle Zhou said with some emotion, This old servant never imagined that I would be able to break through to the golden core stage in this lifetime. He previously only had a low-grade 5-element spiritual root, which was considered trash in the cultivation world. It was only thanks to Master Zhou's help that he was able to break through to the Foundation Establishment stage. For him, breaking through to the Foundation Establishment stage was already an immense opportunity. Now, having met the young master, his spiritual root has been upgraded to the middle grade, just a step away from the upper grade. Everything that happened during this period felt unreal to him, like a dream. Upon hearing this, Zhou Yun smiled and said, "Uncle Zhou, you mustn't worry, this is just the beginning. There's still the nascent soul stage, the deity transformation stage, the void refinement stage." Uncle Zhou was taken aback at first, then burst into laughter. "Ha ha ha." With a firm voice, he said, "Then this old servant will certainly accompany the young master on this long journey to immortality." After accepting the tea from Uncle Zhou, the two chatted briefly. Zhou Yun put down his teacup and said, "Then Uncle Zhou, keep an eye on Jiming and the others' cultivation. I should be breaking through to the nascent soul stage soon." Upon hearing Zhou Yun's words, Uncle Zhou's face lit up with barely suppressed joy. He bowed excitedly and said, "Congratulations, young master. This old servant will be here waiting for the good news of your breakthrough to the nascent soul stage. I will take care of all the miscellaneous matters on the Pengyun merchant ship. You don't need to worry about it, just focus on your breakthrough." Zhou Yun nodded, his figure disappearing from the spot. He was naturally extremely confident in Uncle Zhou's management. The next moment, back in the room, he communicated with Xiaobai in his mind. "Xiaobai, prepare some supplies that will guarantee my breakthrough to the nascent soul stage." "Yes, master," Little White responded quickly. A moment later, a gift bag appeared in front of him, and Xiaobai's voice rang out again. "Master, we have selected a perfect infant advancement gift pack for you, which contains the necessary pills and rare herbs. Just follow the instructions to take it." Zhou Yun opened the gift pack, placed the supplies in front of him, and consumed them one by one according to Xiaobai's instructions. As the pure medicinal power dissolved in his body, Zhou Yun quickly circulated his cultivation technique, and his aura rose steadily, surging like a tidal wave. For him, breaking through to the nascent soul stage was not a difficult task. A year ago, he had already reached a bottleneck in his breakthrough, but he was busy with the Pengyun auction at the time and temporarily put the breakthrough aside. Now that I finally have some free time, and with Pengyun merchant ships developing very rapidly, it's time to make a breakthrough and upgrade Pengyun merchant ships as well. As the divine sense swept over it, fine cracks slowly appeared on the surface of the flawless golden core in the Dantian, and rays of brilliant, dark blue light shone through. With a muffled thud, the golden core shattered. The pale blue light spots converged into pure spiritual liquid, rippling around him as countless energies gathered towards his Dantian. In the center of the Dantian, a tiny figure, about an inch in size, with a crystalline luster flowing around it, was sitting in meditation with its eyes closed. As energy gathered, the little figure gradually solidified, its face bearing a 7 or 8 tenths resemblance to Zhou Yun's. This was Zhou Yun's nascent soul. He continued to circulate his cultivation technique, consolidating his newly achieved breakthrough. Zhou Yun could feel that with the existence of the nascent soul, his perception and absorption of spiritual energy were faster, and his control over his own power had also improved to a higher level. This sense of control is probably why the nascent soul stage is more powerful than the golden core stage. Nascent soul cultivators can mobilize the power of heaven and earth during battle, while golden core cultivators can only use the energy contained within themselves, resulting in a vast difference in strength between the two. Of course, each advancement in cultivation is a transformation of one's life level. The ability to mobilize the power of heaven and earth is only one of the abilities of a nascent soul cultivator. Other benefits include improved lifespan and spiritual awareness. Call. Zhou Yun slowly exhaled and began to examine the changes brought about by the upgrade of the Pengyun merchant ship. 1. Upgrade of Pengyun merchant ship. 2. Physical transformation. Looking at the information in the back end, Zhou Yun frowned slightly, feeling that the reward this time was less. Xiaobai's voice rang out. "Master, it's not that the rewards have decreased, but rather that you've developed the Pengyun merchant ship so well that rewards like the Pengyun space area are no longer of any use to you. Zhou Yun nodded, agreeing. He now has more Pengyun points than he can use, and he can think about how to expand the Pengyun space later. We'll discuss it with Uncle Zhou and the others later. Regarding development issues, he didn't want to be a dictator, and thinking about it alone was too much of a mental strain. Everyone should participate. Many hands make light work. I believe we can come up with a development path suitable for Pengyun space. Chapter 174 Xian Hong arrives in the western regions. Zhou Yun claimed both rewards at the same time, and the Pengyun merchant ship outside instantly doubled in size, stunning the cultivators inside the blissful heaven capital. Zhou Yun himself is also undergoing a transformation. A powerful vitality bursts forth from his body, and his original spiritual root and physique are being refined and reshaped under this power. He felt his body undergoing a tremendous transformation, every cell in his body becoming active, like plants that had been parched for a long time and were now breathing greedily and vigorously. Layers of green ripples spread from Zhou Yun's body, permeating the entire Pengyun space. Perhaps because it was in the Pengyun space, no unusual phenomena occurred. But wherever these ripples containing the power of life passed, miracles appeared. The spiritual plants were growing wildly, and many of them broke through their own level limits, as if decades had passed in an instant. At this moment, Zhou Yun himself also completed his transformation. His bones, flesh and blood were radiating a blue light, containing a powerful life force. Uncle Zhou, weaving fate. The cultivators strolling around Pengyun Island all noticed the change. Young master has successfully broken through. Uncle Zhou looked in Zhou Yun's direction with a gratified smile on his face. Yo! Yo! The creatures, including Jiming, were probably the happiest, fluttering around the lush green plants and blooming flowers. Only the cultivators on Pengyun Island stared in horror at what was happening before their eyes. What was that moment just now? I felt the vitality within me become much stronger. Isn't that normal? Look at that spiritual plant in front, its grade has been upgraded. I wonder what kind of rare and precious treasure it is. Forget about it, such a treasure is not something we can afford to look at. Amidst their feelings of deep emotion, everyone felt an even greater sense of the mystery and power of the Pengyun merchant ship. Just as Zhou Yun was breaking through, Xian Hong, a source of chaos, also arrived in the blissful heaven. Xian Hong's figure appeared in the room through the Wanbage teleportation array. A maidservant standing nearby greeted him respectfully. "Guest, this way please." Xian Hong followed behind the maid, curiously looking around. To his shame, this was his first time in the western regions. He asked softly, "Is Pengyun merchant ship in this city?" "Yes. Are you here to attend the Pengyun auction?" "Our Wanbage can provide accommodations," the maid nodded in reply. During this period, many cultivators arrived via teleportation arrays, mostly to participate in the Pengyun auction. Xian Hong breathed a sigh of relief upon hearing the maid's reply. He learned about it from a Buddhist cultivator at the auction, but he didn't come to the western regions for the Pengyun auction. With the Pengyun Token, why would he need to come to the western regions? He came to the western regions to do big business. The southern regions were too poor and were in the midst of war, so he couldn't make much money by trading goods. After the last Pengyun auction, he discovered that the western regions was a market with great potential, and that Buddhist practitioners in the western regions also had something they urgently needed. That is the purifying elixir of delusion that can solve the problem of the Buddha seal. The entire Buddhist community in the western regions needs this item, and the benefits it can bring him are unimaginable. As for why the Buddhist cultivators in the western regions don't sell the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill themselves, there must be some Buddhist cultivators selling it secretly, but they don't dare to openly take over the entire western regions market, as doing so would be suicidal. But Xian Hong dared to do it. He turned to the maid beside him and said, "Take me to see your master." The maid was taken aback, a hint of hesitation on her face. Was it possible to see the pavilion master whenever one wanted? Xian Hong released a trace of the pressure belonging to the Great Ascension Perfection realm, and the maid next to him froze on the spot, her face turning deathly pale. Before she could speak, the void in front of her shattered, and a refined-looking man appeared. It was Su Wunja, the head of the Wanbao Pavilion. He said respectfully, "Greetings, senior." The maid standing nearby was terrified when she heard even her own master address the other person as senior. She closed her eyes and collapsed to the ground. Sometimes, when you don't know how to face a problem, fainting is a good solution. It seems this little maid has thoroughly mastered the art of survival during her days of working like a beast of burden. When she wakes up, it will be another beautiful day. Upon seeing this, Su Wunja frowned but didn't say anything, leading Xian Hong to the top floor room. The two sat facing each other, and Su Wunja personally brewed tea. He then asked, "I wonder if there's anything I can help you with, senior?" As the head of Wanbage, one naturally needs to be perceptive. This senior's initiative in releasing his aura must mean he has something to discuss with him. No rush, this is good news. Xian Hong smiled meaningfully at him. That smile sent a chill down Su Wunja's spine, reminding him of some unpleasant memories. He shook his head, trying to clear his mind of the random thoughts. This paradise was really not a place for normal people. It was making him start to become neurotic. A moment later, Xian Hong took the tea and drank a sip. "Ah, fine tea." After savoring the moment, I slowly opened my eyes. "I'm here to do business with you, a huge deal with immeasurable value," Xian Hong said, looking intently at Su Wunja. Hearing that this senior was only there to make a transaction, Su Wunja's tense heart relaxed. He asked in a low voice, "How big is it? Please tell me in detail, senior." Xian Hong's lips curled into a smile, but he remained silent. A burst of spiritual light appeared in his palm, revealing a pill rich in spiritual energy. Accompanied by a faint, pungent medicinal fragrance, it startled everyone. Su Wunja said excitedly, This is the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill." He was naturally familiar with the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill. It had caused quite a stir at the Pengyun auction last time. Its ability to solve the Buddha seed problem meant that this pill was destined to attract the attention of the entire Western regions. He had also bought one at the time, although it was only a 4th grade one, which could only solve the Buddha seed problem for Buddhist cultivators at or below the nascent soul stage. However, if the quantity of these pills is enormous, they could directly destroy the foundation of the Western regions. These pills are only available on the Pengyun merchant ship, and if this senior can produce a large number of breaking illusion and purifying spirit pills, then the other party must have the Pengyun Token. He had no other thoughts, nor would he dare to. He could only feel envy in his heart. Wanbage has detailed records of all the news about Pengyun merchant ships, including the mysterious Pengyun Token, which has always been a target of their search. Unfortunately, it's just too difficult. Nobody knows exactly how many Pengyun tokens there are. This is indeed a huge deal, an enormous deal. If I can close it, my performance will be. Thinking of this, Su Wunja excitedly asked, "Senior, do you have a large quantity of spirit-clearing pills?" Xian Hong nodded, then shook his head. Su Wunja looked on with a face full of confusion. "Yes, but not many." Sigh. Su Wunja said with deep regret. "I was so excited just now. Although this breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill is only a 4th-tier pill, it is still very difficult to mass-produce. It would require so many rare spiritual herbs. However, at that moment a voice rang in my ears. About 1 million. Chapter 175 Xian Hong's Path to Making Money. Bang! Su Wunja dropped the teacup he was holding to the ground, and jumped to his feet, exclaiming, 1 million. He couldn't believe the number he was hearing. Was 1 million really a small number? That's incredible. However, this is actually a good thing for him. Senior. Su Wunja's face was flushed, and his tone was incoherent. Calm down, Xian Hong said in a deep voice. He glanced at the other person, then picked up his teacup and slowly sipped his tea. Interrupted by Xian Hong, Su Wenzhe gradually calmed down and sat upright in his chair, though a hint of joy still lingered in his eyes. The main thing is 1 million soul-clearing pills. Imagine the profits that this will bring to Wanbage. Moreover, due to the properties and scarcity of the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill, they also have the initiative and can set the price extremely high. Just as Su Wenzhe was envisioning the future, Xian Hong's voice rang out again. 1 low-grade spirit stone costs 1 million low-grade spirit stones. 1 mid-grade spirit stone costs 3 million low-grade spirit stones. And 1 high-grade spirit stone costs 5 million low-grade spirit stones. Upon hearing Xian Hong's voice, Su Wenzhe nodded and did not object. This price is indeed much higher than that of ordinary 4th-tier pills, but it is not considered high for the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill. For example, if a pill that can help one break through to the nascent soul stage and a spirit-clearing pill for dispelling illusions appear in front of a Buddhist cultivator at the same time, and the cultivator is asked to choose one, the Buddhist cultivator will definitely choose the spirit-clearing pill for dispelling illusions. This is the ultimate allure of the delusion-dispelling and purifying elixir for Buddhist practitioners. If the problem of the Buddha seed is not addressed first, even if one breaks through to the nascent soul stage, one's freedom will still be controlled by others, and one's life and death will not be in one's own hands. The two completed the transaction. Xian Hong examined the spirit stones he had earned, a smile he could hardly hide on his face. The speed at which he had earned cultivation resources was simply too easy, too simple. If it weren't for the fact that golden core cultivators only have so many spirit stones, Xian Hong would have wanted to set the price even higher. Then I'll go rest first. Arrange a quiet room for me, Xian Hong said to Su Wenzhe. I will definitely continue to have dealings with Wanbage in the future, and staying here will make future transactions much more convenient. No problem, no problem. I'll arrange it for you right away, senior, Su Wenzhe replied immediately. Su Wenzhe got up and personally led the way for Xian Hong, but as they walked, Su Wenzhe felt that something was not right and frowned as he pondered it. He replayed the entire transaction in his mind, and stood there stunned. Xian Hong looked at the other party who had stopped with a puzzled expression and asked, "What's wrong? If your excellency has something to attend to, just have a servant lead the way." "No." Su Wenzhe raised his voice a few decibels and turned to Xian Hong anxiously. "Senior, why wasn't there a top-grade breaking illusion cleansing pill in the transaction just now?" Su Wenzhe finally realized that something was wrong. He had been too excited and had overlooked the most important 4th-grade top-quality breakthrough spirit cleansing pill. That's what really makes money. He had previously studied the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill and knew that only the highest grade could completely remove the Buddha seed from a nascent soul Buddhist cultivator. Nascent soul Buddhist cultivators are much richer than golden core Buddhist cultivators. In response to Su Wenzhe's question, Xian Hong calmly replied, "I'll sell that myself." Golden core Buddhist cultivators only have a few spirit stones, so of course he wants to get more from nascent soul Buddhist cultivators. "No, senior. We can discuss the price. It's a waste of your time if you sell it yourself. Don't even think about it. If it weren't for the hassle, I wouldn't have given any to you. Senior, then you can entrust it to Wanbage to sell for you, and we won't charge you any difference in price." This was something Xian Hong couldn't understand. Curious, I asked, "Why do you do this if you're not making a single penny?" Su Wenzhe didn't hide anything and explained, "It's about maintaining our reputation. Although not being able to produce the top-grade breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill won't have much of an impact, it would be better if we could, and it would also attract the attention of the entire western regions, which would indirectly increase the revenue of Wanbage. So, senior, let Wanbao handle the sale." Looking into Su Wenzhe's resolute and sincere gaze, Xian Hong nodded and took out a storage ring, handing it to the other person. After checking the quantity of top-grade pills inside, Su Wenzhe was extremely envious. This was the real prize. After settling Xian Hong in, Su Wenzhe also needed to properly plan the matter of the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill. The large-scale sale of the breaking illusion and purifying spirit pill will surely cause a huge upheaval in the entire western regions. This requires discussions with the Western region administrators and other Wanbage pavilion masters to come up with a plan that maximizes their benefits. Furthermore, it requires Elder Hua's presence to prevent the Western region Buddhist cultivators from resorting to desperate measures. Several days later, the entire Western region's Wanbage simultaneously began selling the Breakthrough Spirit Cleansing Pill. Soon, the news that the Breaking Illusion Cleansing Pill could solve the Buddha seed spread throughout the Western regions. Since it was guaranteed by Wanbage, no Buddhist cultivators doubted its credibility. The entire Western regions instantly descended into chaos, with the Wanbao Pavilion packed with people eager to buy elixirs. Unfortunately, the price of the Breakthrough Spirit Cleansing Pill is not cheap at all. The lowest grade one costs 3 million low-grade spirit stones, and only golden core cultivators or foundation establishment cultivators with a certain foundation can afford it. The supreme grade Breaking Illusion Cleansing Pill, which is said to be able to help nascent soul Buddhist cultivators completely resolve the Buddha seed, costs 100 million low-grade spirit stones per pill. Furthermore, according to Wanbage's introduction, a Buddhist cultivator in the late nascent soul stage needs 2 top-grade Breaking Illusion and Purifying Spirit pills, while a Buddhist cultivator in the perfect nascent soul stage needs 3 Breaking Illusion and Purifying Spirit pills. Everyone knew that Wanbage was ripping them off, but they could only scramble to buy from them. They had no bargaining power. They really wanted to remove the Buddha seed that had been rooted in their bodies since the beginning of their cultivation as soon as possible. At that time, the world will be vast and they will still be free to roam as they please. Xian Hong leisurely sipped tea in his room, enjoying the booming business of Wanbage, a broad smile spreading across his face. I wonder how many spirit stones the supreme grade breakthrough pill will earn me, ha ha ha. The price of 100 million was set by him. Generally, Buddhist cultivators or cultivators who have just entered the nascent soul realm have a net worth of around 300 million low-grade spirit stones, so buying a pill is not a problem at all. His purpose in coming to the Western regions was to make money, so naturally he wanted to exploit these Buddhist practitioners. He downed the tea in one gulp and took out the Pengyun Token to activate it. Making money is truly addictive. He wanted to browse inside the Pengyun merchant ship to see if there was anything that could help nascent soul and void refining Buddhist cultivators solve the Buddha seed problem. The higher the level of the cultivator or Buddhist practitioner, the more resources they can offer. Sometimes, all the hard work of fleecing a low-level Buddhist practitioner is less effective than getting a single hair from a high-level one. Xian Hong appeared inside Pengyun's merchant ship but did not find Zhou Yun's presence. I walked straight outside and found everyone either meditating with their eyes closed or gathered together discussing things. After listening for a while, I realized that the vitality of the spiritual plants on the island had increased significantly, and some of them had even broken through their levels. However, Xian Hong didn't find it particularly strange, since this was inside the Pengyun merchant ship. Today, Pengyun merchant ship is like a god in Xian Hong's heart. No arguments will be accepted. Chapter 176 The Everlasting Body. They went straight to the 5th floor of the exchange tower and strolled around leisurely. Since he obtained the Pengyun Token, he has never thoroughly explored the exchange tower. Wow, the variety is just too amazing, Xian Hong exclaimed. However, he did not forget the purpose of entering the exchange tower this time, and entered the information of the items he was looking for as he walked. Slowly, green orbs of light began to gather around me. He then clicked on a nearby green light cluster, and a message appeared before his eyes. Item: Soul Purification Pill. Type: Pill. Grade: 5th tier, high grade. Effects: purifies the essence of the soul, making it pure and flawless. The Buddha seed is merely an external spiritual imprint, which will gradually decompose under the effect of the soul purification pill. Details: the Buddhist cultivation level of the one who applies the Buddha seed must not be higher than that of the void refinement stage. Otherwise, the spiritual imprint cannot be completely removed. Item: Heart-slaying pill. Type: Pill. Rank: Tier 5 Supreme. Effect: it can temporarily sever all external marks on the user's body. The Buddha seed can also be temporarily blocked as a means of control. Details: Even if the perpetrator is a powerful being who has transcended tribulation, the connection can be severed. However, the stronger the perpetrator, the shorter the time required to sever the connection. Item: Immaculate Soul Liquid. Type: Elixir. Grade: 5th tier, high grade. Efficacy: it can be taken directly or used as an ingredient in alchemy. After consuming the Immaculate Soul Liquid, a soul membrane will form to envelop the spiritual sea, slowly dissolving external spiritual imprints. During this period, one can be immune to control and tracking, making it a gentle yet effective method. Details: it can dissolve the spiritual imprint of a void refinement cultivator, but it requires a larger amount of Immaculate Soul Liquid. After looking at all the items, Xian Hong's eyes lit up. These were all money. If you take it to the Western regions and resell it, the price will naturally increase several times. Xian Hong was thrilled by this costless, fast, and direct way of earning resources. He seemed to have seen the hope of the Xianming illusion whale clan's resurgence, and he even believed that he could use this method to plunder the resources of the entire Western regions and exchange them for immortal-level items that could truly restore his ancestor. Now, he's the only one in the entire Western regions who dares to sell so openly. He knew that there were also Buddhist cultivators in the Western regions who possessed the Pengyun Token, but they dared not sell anything that could solve the problem of the Buddha seed. Following the last Pengyun auction, news about the Pengyun Token's function has gradually spread. Both the visiting cultivators and the local Buddhist practitioners were watching the unusual phenomena in the Western regions, waiting for the person who possessed the Pengyun Token to step forward. With his perfect Mahayana cultivation, Xian Hong was untouchable even by 2 Mahayana Buddhas, so he naturally thrived in the Western regions. With a wave of his hand, he redeemed all the items. Next, we arrived at the 6th floor. Using the same method, I cleared out some of the items on the 6th floor. Staring at the remaining cyan orbs of light beside him, Xian Hong said regretfully, "I don't have enough Pengyun points. I'll exchange them for more when I earn more resources." Having cultivated for hundreds of thousands of years, Xian Hong knew that some things couldn't be rushed, and that acquiring resources had to be done step by step. In the Pengyun space, the azure light on Zhou Yun's body gradually subsided, and his aura became calmer. He slowly opened his eyes, a flash of blue light appearing in them. After examining his own body, a smile flashed in Zhou Yun's eyes. "It's done. I checked the information about awakened physique. Constitution. Evergreen body. Details. This physique maximizes the healing effects of the water and wood elements, granting near immortality to the physical body, a lifespan far exceeding that of others of the same level, and the ability to regenerate severed limbs. It possesses the purest life force, providing a significant boost to water and wood magic. It is born with a perfected path of water and wood principles. It's all right. This physique is powerful for any cultivator, comparable to the top Dao physiques in the cultivation world. Unfortunately, the benefits that come with this physique are the least useful to Zhou Yun. He doesn't need extra lifespan or powerful healing abilities. What Zhou Yun values most is that this physique comes with a water and wood law, which will make Zhou Yun's cultivation speed extremely fast, unlike other cultivators who need to comprehend the heavenly way and hone their own laws. The greatest strength of top-tier cultivation physiques lies in their ability to comprehend corresponding laws once a certain level is reached. This is why ordinary cultivators need thousands of years to break through to the nascent soul or void refinement stages, while prodigies can achieve these stages in a single day. Zhou Yun got up and opened the door. Uncle Zhou was already waiting outside. "Congratulations on breaking through to the nascent soul stage, young master," Uncle Zhou said happily, his wrinkles crinkling into a smile. "There's nothing to congratulate you on. Isn't this just a natural progression?" Zhou Yun said nonchalantly. Although this was true, in Uncle Zhou's eyes, it was the result of his young master's hard work and diligent cultivation. In Uncle Zhou's heart, Zhou Yun was the most important person, and he praised Zhou Yun so much that Zhou Yun blushed. After accepting Uncle Zhou's praise, Zhou Yun looked at the scene in the courtyard. He asked, "What are you trying to do?" Uncle Zhou didn't say much, but bowed and said, "Young master, this way please. Everyone is waiting." Chirp chirp. Yo yo. Congratulations, master, on breaking through to the nascent soul stage. Amid cheers, the butterflies fluttered in the air, scattering a large number of bright petals. Various colors of light flashed between their wings, forming a rain of flowers that enveloped the entire courtyard. Zhou Yun was slightly taken aback, not expecting the ceremony to be so grand, and everyone had even prepared a celebratory banquet for him. Walking forward amidst the falling blossoms, the faint fragrance of 100 flowers lingering around his nose, a happy smile appeared on Zhou Yun's face, and a touch of emotion rose in his heart. He sat down in the main seat and looked around at the group of companions who had accompanied him all the way. Zhou Yun raised his glass and said in a warm voice, "Thank you all for everything you've done for me, and thank you all for your contributions to Pengyun merchant ship. This glass is for you all, and for our bright future. Cheers." Chirp chirp. Yo yo. Cheers. Everyone echoed in agreement. The entire banquet proceeded in a relaxed and pleasant atmosphere, and slowly came to a close amidst laughter and joy. Seeing that everyone's expressions were somewhat intoxicated, Zhou Yun's lips curled into a faint smile. It is thanks to them that Pengyun merchant ship has been able to develop better and better step by step. The laughter and joy were heard here, but on Pengyun Island. A heartbroken figure sat by the lake, and the cultivators who often lingered in the Pengyun space had long noticed the lonely figure. Sometimes, when you get close, you can even hear sobbing sounds. No one knows who this person is, and no one has ever asked. Lord Blood Lotus. Lord Blood Lotus. Xiao doesn't know what to do, Xiao is so clumsy. Lin Xiao murmured softly. She searched the first 5 floors of the exchange tower but found no way to revive Lord Blood Lotus. Chapter 177 The Flower of Reversed Cause and Effect. She hugged her legs tightly with both hands and buried her head in her arms. She had previously considered entering the upper levels of the exchange tower, but unfortunately, she was blocked from entering due to her low cultivation level. At this moment, the street urchin in Pengyun space moved over and stopped beside Lin Xiao. "Fellow Daoist, have you encountered any difficulties? I know everything about the Pengyun space very well, so you've come to the right person." Wang Hao patted his chest and assured him. Lin Xiao wiped away her tears and looked up at the figure beside her. With a choked voice, she asked, "Then can you tell me if there's a way to revive someone inside the exchange tower?" Upon hearing this person's words, Wang Hao pondered. So it's because a loved one is gone. No wonder he's so heartbroken. But to bring them back to life. Although it's difficult, let's give them some hope. Yes, it is said that there are immortal level items inside the exchange tower, and there have been auction items that can revive people at the Pengyun auction. Really? Lin Xiao's eyes sparkled with surprise. Whether it's true or not, it's the best comfort for Lin Xiao right now. Of course it's true. Pengyun merchant ship has everything. What you need to do now is make money so you can afford the things you need. How much will it cost? There are so many, try your best to prepare them. The two chatted casually, and Wang Hao told the other party without reservation how to make money with Pengyun tokens. He also told the other party to be very careful. As he left, Wang Hao reminded him, "You must preserve your loved one's body well, and it would be best to exchange it at the exchange tower for some items to nourish the soul. Don't wait until..." Upon hearing Wang Hao's words, Lin Xiao's face paled. She realized that he had not understood the meaning behind her words at all. He immediately asked, "He self-destructed. Is it possible for him to be resurrected?" Wang Hao froze, opened his mouth, but couldn't utter a word. So this is what resurrection is like. Is there really a way to resurrect someone? He brushed aside the thoughts in his mind. How could a golden core cultivator know these things? But he probably didn't. But he didn't want to tell the other person such a cruel answer. He's the know-it-all on the Pengyun merchant ship. What does he do when he encounters a problem he doesn't know the answer to? He just throws the question out to the shill. Perhaps you could ask the owner of the Pengyun merchant ship? You can wait here. Young Master Zhou might appear occasionally, Wang Hao suggested. Lin Xiaoxiao had heard about the owner of the Pengyun merchant ship from Lord Xiuxian, and had been instructed to show him respect upon encountering him. She had been on the merchant ship for half a month and had never encountered it. But he was still very grateful to the person in front of him. She said softly, "Thank you, I understand." Watching the figure continue to stare blankly at the lake, Wang Hao shook his head and left. It's probably impossible to bring the dead back to life. Even Master Zhou couldn't think of a way. Inside the Wanbao Pavilion in the blissful heavenly capital, Xian Hong appeared in the room, straightened his clothes, and walked out the door. They found Su Wenzhe again. Upon seeing Xian Hong arrive, Su Wenzhe stood up to greet him. He asked respectfully, "Senior, what can I do for you?" Once seated, Xian Hong got straight to the point. "If you help me sell some items, I can give you 10%, no, 0.5% of the fee." I originally intended to be generous, but I felt a little reluctant, so I changed my mind halfway through. Hearing what the other party said, Su Wenzhe was a little surprised. What precious thing was this senior going to sell again? And this time there was even a share of the profits. He didn't care about the share of the profits. Just like when he sold the top-grade breaking illusion cleansing spirit pill, even without a share of the profits, Wanbage still attracted a large number of customers. Therefore, I'm starting to have some anticipation for the items this senior wants to sell. Su Wenzhe asked with some excitement, "What items does senior wish to sell?" Xian Hong waved his arm, and streaks of spiritual light flashed, revealing dozens of items already laid out on the table. Hiss! Su Wenzhe looked at the items on the table and gasped in shock. This action truly stunned him. As the head of Wanbage Pavilion, Su Wenzhe, who possesses a mid-stage nascent soul cultivation level, is naturally very perceptive when it comes to judging spiritual objects. Every item on the table contained a rich spiritual energy, and many of them were probably at the 6th rank. Are rare and precious materials so common now? Su Wenzhe wondered to himself. Although level 5 and 6 items are not precious to him, they are not common items either. He glanced at Xian Hong, knowing that these things were probably taken out of the Pengyun merchant ship by this senior. At this moment, he became even more curious about the Pengyun merchant ship and even more eager for the legendary Pengyun Token. Afterwards, this matter will definitely be reported to higher authorities, which should attract their attention. In the past, there was mostly speculation about the Pengyun Token, but now, based on the senior's actions, we have a more accurate assessment. They even gained a deeper understanding of Pengyun merchant ship. Su Wenzhe glanced at the items on the table and asked softly, "Senior, may I take a look?" "Whatever you like," Xian Hong said casually, picking up the teacup on the table and slowly drinking it. Su Wenzhe picked up the items and examined them repeatedly. Gradually, he frowned. He realized that he didn't recognize most of the items, but he could roughly identify some of them from their spiritual aura. After putting down his items, Su Wenzhe looked awkwardly at Xian Hong and whispered, "Could you please introduce me to you, senior?" Xian Hong had anticipated this, since even he needed Pengyun Space's explanation to know the effects of these things, so it was normal for the other party not to know. Xian Hong explained the matter in great detail, which shocked Su Wenzhe, who was listening from the side. He looked at Xian Hong with surprise, feeling that this senior had come to the western regions to cause trouble. Previously, they only sold 4th-tier breaking illusion and cleansing spirit pills, but now they've brought out 5th and 6th-tier items targeting nascent soul and void refinement cultivators. After that, will we need to create 7th-tier and 8th-tier items? At that time, the entire western regions will truly be in chaos. When only 3 items remained, Xian Hong paused for a moment, a smug look playing on his lips. The next 3 items are what he thinks are the most attractive and the most profitable. He noticed Su Wenzhe's gaze. Xian Hong began his introduction, raising his voice several decibels. The first item is a flower that is somewhat transparent and constantly changes color, and what is most peculiar is that it constantly changes between blooming and withering. Item: Flower of reversed cause and effect. Type: spiritual plant. Rank: Tier 6 Supreme. Effects: consuming this flower can disrupt the causal chain. If the difference in strength is not significant, it can reverse cause and effect, causing the caster to suffer a backlash. It can even affect the other party with the influence of the Buddha seed, controlling them. Details: ideally, your strength should not exceed 1 major realm. The second item is an ever-burning dark red lotus flower. The entire lotus flower is made of karmic fire, and the center of it radiates a rich Buddhist light. Chapter 178: The sensation caused by the Wanbage auction. Item: Crimson Lotus of Karmic Fire. Type: different flame. Rank: Tier 6 Supreme. Efficacy: karmic fire can burn away karma, especially the karma cultivated in Buddhism. As a secret method of Buddhist practice, the Buddha seed itself contains the power of Buddhism and can be used as fuel for the karmic fire red lotus to burn it away completely. Details: the process is extremely painful, requiring the user to possess a resilient and powerful Tao heart. The third item was a pill that emitted a strange black aura and had black patterns on its surface. Item: Freedom Spirit Pill. Type: magic pill. Rank: Tier 6 Supreme. Effects: after consuming the elixir and storing it in the dantian, the demonic core is nourished by the user's own soul and life force. Once mature, a demonic entity will be born. This demonic entity will then erode and devour the original Buddha seed by following its residual spiritual imprint. This opportunity is limited to 1 attempt. Details: this method is extremely dangerous and should be used with caution. After Xian Hong finished his introduction, he picked up the teacup on the table and took a sip. I've been talking for most of the day, and I'm getting thirsty. Su Wenzhe, on the other hand, was still in a daze. These things, if thrown into the Western regions, would really cause a sensation. Especially the last 3 items, which can actually backfire and control the caster through the Buddha seed within the body. This is truly going against the heavens. Such a thing has never appeared before, and it will inevitably cause panic among high-level Buddhist practitioners. Who wouldn't be afraid? They'd be constantly wondering if someone was plotting against them. Su Wenzhe looked at the items on the table, pondered for a moment. The items definitely needed to be sold, which would undoubtedly bring huge profits to Wanbage. As the head of the pavilion, he would naturally not let go of such a good opportunity. However, he certainly couldn't handle it on his own. It would be best to invite Mr. Hua over. Furthermore, it would be helpful to ask this senior if they have any additional requirements. Thinking of this, Su Wenzhe looked at Xian Hong and asked in a low voice, "Senior, do you have any additional requirements, such as the form of sale of the items?" Xian Hong waved his hand. "I believe in Wanbage's marketing capabilities, and I'm sure we can sell it for a good price." "Then why don't we hold an auction and create a sensation in the Western regions?" Upon hearing Su Wenzhe's suggestion, Xian Hong was slightly taken aback. An auction was indeed a good choice, as it could maximize the value of these items. However, he couldn't help but think of the Pengyun auction. "I think using these 5th or 6th tier items to hold an auction is a bit low-end." He shook his head frantically. "How many Pengyun auction houses are there in this world? I really dare to dream." Xian Hong thought to himself. Su Wenzhe, standing nearby, looked on with a puzzled expression, wondering what this senior was doing. Looking up to meet Su Wenzhe's questioning gaze, Xian Hong smiled awkwardly and said, "The auction is going well, so I'll leave it to you." He patted the other person on the shoulder and disappeared into the room. Su Wenzhe tidied up the things on the table, got up and walked out. He also needed to consult Elder Hua to prepare for the upcoming auction. The following day, news of the Wanbage auction spread throughout the city and quickly reached the Western regions. Many Buddhist practitioners panicked and rushed to the pure land of ultimate bliss. Some Western region Buddhist cultivators who possessed the Pengyun tokens had slight changes in their expressions and were thinking to themselves, could it be that Wanbage obtained the Pengyun token? Has someone else approached Wanbage for cooperation? Regardless, With the sale of these items, the western regions are about to descend into chaos. Although they possess the Pengyun Token, they dare not resell any goods from the Pengyun merchant ships, as countless powerful figures in the western regions are currently watching them from the shadows. We're just waiting for those who possess the Pengyun Token to step forward. Of course, there are occasionally a few people who secretly sell items, but they are just lucky enough not to get caught. The Heavenly Capital, a secret underground chamber. The Buddha of Rebirth and the Buddha of Joy looked at each other with solemn expressions. Having just resolved the Buddhist disciple issue and barely had a moment of peace, another problem has arisen. The Buddhist seed was key to the establishment of order in the western regions, and they were the ones who least wanted this order to collapse. The prayer beads in the hands of the Buddha of Rebirth jingled loudly, and the force with which he turned the beads was greater than usual. Well, didn't you send someone to Wanbage to inquire? What was their reply? The Buddha of Rebirth asked in a deep voice. A look of sorrow appeared on the Buddha of Joy's eerie face. I sent Miaochu there, but he didn't see Pavilion Master Su at all, the joyful Buddha said softly. After saying that, he looked at the Buddha of Rebirth with some doubt and said, I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I always feel that Wanbage looks down on our joyful sect. The Buddha paused in his prayer beads, glanced at the other person, and said nothing more. He lowered his head and continued turning the prayer beads. The cold voice of the Buddha of Bliss rang in my ears. Now we need to figure out whether Wanbage obtained the Pengyun Token, or whether someone approached Wanbage. If it's the former, then we can only compromise. If it's the latter, then we'll find out who the other is. This is the Western regions. It's not up to outsiders to act recklessly. After agreeing on some details, the two disappeared into the secret room. In the small courtyard of Chihuang Mountain, in the blissful heavenly capital, Qingwan looked at her elder and said, Elder, with Wanbage making such a big move, could it be that they've found the Pengyun Token? No. Huang Shu looked up into the distance and said softly, Someone has arrived with the Pengyun Token. Does the elder know who that person is? Qingwan looked at the elder excitedly. Their purpose for this trip was the Pengyun Token. Now that they had found someone who possessed the Pengyun Token, wouldn't the mission be completed immediately? Let's wait for the next one. This is a tough nut to crack. Huang Shu shook her head, picked up the tea on the table and took a sip. Hearing the elder's words, Qingwan frowned. Even the elders of their own clan consider him a tough character, so he must have a celestial-level background. There are only a handful of forces in the entire Shention cultivation world with immortal-level beings. Who could it be? Looking at Qingwan's current appearance, Huang Shu smiled. He explained, Don't even think about it, they're from the Shenming Illusion Whale clan. It's them. Their ancestral home is in the southern region, and the Pengyun merchant ships also started in the southern region, so it's not surprising that they have the Pengyun Token. Qingwan suddenly realized, and then asked, But isn't their clan's ancestor about to die? Huang Shu put down her teacup and looked at Qingwan. It's precisely because you're about to die that you absolutely cannot make a move. A dying immortal-level expert can be even more terrifying. Although we at Chihuang Mountain are not afraid, there is no need to provoke him for a Pengyun Token. According to Wanbage's information, there are quite a few Pengyun Tokens. Qingwan nodded, understanding as well. Some old monsters whose lifespan is nearing its end, or whose life force is sealed away, can be quite terrifying when they go berserk. The reason why no one dares to provoke those superpowers in the central region, even after they have declined in a certain generation, is because their ancestors are still alive. With the last vestiges of life, they guarded the sect's legacy. The same applies to the Shenming Illusion Whale clan. As long as its ancestor has not truly perished, it will still possess the foundation of an immortal. This is probably why the other party dares to sell Pengyun merchant ship goods so openly. Chapter 179 Wanbage Auction. Time flies, and a month has passed in the blink of an eye. The Paradise City is hosting the Wanbage Auction. The crowds at Paradise City have been overwhelming recently, with a density more than 3 times that of usual. This auction, held by Wanbage, attracted many Buddhist practitioners from the Western regions, making it even more popular than the Pengyun auction. There's nothing that can be done about it. The target audience for auctioned items is different. The items auctioned at Pengyun auction are undoubtedly top tier, but it is also destined that only the most powerful figures will participate in the auction, while others can only watch the excitement and broaden their horizons. This Wanbage auction is different. Not only are there more items being auctioned, but they can also completely change the fate of a Buddhist practitioner. The Buddha seed is a pain rooted in the heart of every Buddhist practitioner. They are willing to give everything to solve the problem of the Buddha seed. At this moment, Shen Hong was sitting in the top floor room that Wanbage had specially prepared for him, leisurely drinking tea. His gaze swept over the figures below who were entering to participate in the auction, and a smug smile appeared on his lips. This trip to the Western regions was definitely worthwhile. We've accumulated so many spirit stones in such a short time. He began to look forward to the auction, hoping it would bring him more profits. Now Shen Hong is obsessed with money, and all he can think about is how to make money. He had already planned that after the auction ended, he would use the spirit stones he earned to buy items from Wanbage and exchange them for Pengyun points on the Pengyun merchant ship. Wanbage is destined to make a profit in the process. However, with Wanbage's help this time, he was indeed saved a lot of trouble, so it was only right for them to make some money. Moreover, he never understood why the Pengyun merchant ship couldn't directly exchange spirit stones for Pengyun points. Not only did he not understand this, but no one else did either. Shen Hong could tell that Wanbage attached great importance to this auction, and he could feel the pressure of a Mahayana cultivator enveloping the entire venue. It seems that Su Wenjie invited Wanbage's manager in the Western regions to oversee the situation. Time passed slowly, and the auction finally began. The atmosphere was incredibly lively. Everyone went crazy bidding, throwing out all their savings without a second thought, just as the auctioneer was introducing the items. However, Shen Hong gradually sensed that something was wrong. Each time, someone bids an extremely high price to win the auction item, and it seems to be the same person every time. Who is it? Shen Hong murmured. However, he didn't mind. Since the other party was willing to pay a high price, he would let them buy it. Or should I take care of it myself? A wicked thought arose in Shen Hong's mind. Judging from their attitude, it seems like they want to buy everything in this auction. I could definitely raise the price a bit more. Thinking of this, a hint of suspicion flashed across Shen Hong's face. Could it be those two Mahayana Buddhas from the Western regions? If we're talking about the two people in the Western regions who least want a solution involving the Buddhist seed to emerge, they're probably the only ones. Moreover, these two individuals did indeed have the financial resources to acquire all the ill-fated items in the entire auction. Unfortunately, Shen Hong was wrong this time. The Buddha of Joy and the Buddha of Rebirth are now sitting in the same room, their faces filled with sorrow. Originally, the two of them wanted to take all the items in the auction to prevent them from leaving the market, but they underestimated the madness of the Buddhist monks from the Western regions. After the last Pengyun auction, both of them were completely drained of their wealth in order to acquire the Mahayana Tao Foundation pill. I wonder if the remaining spirit stones will be enough to acquire all the items in the auction. As the auction continued, discussions gradually arose. Everyone was no fool. We were just focused on the auction items, and for a moment we overlooked it. Don't you think it's Buddha? It seems so. Will this mountain ultimately remain unmoved? No, I will definitely win the bid. Faced with this situation, some people gave up, while others continued to struggle. This is a rare opportunity, and many people don't want to give it up and want to give it another shot. At this moment, the beautiful auctioneer on the auction stage spoke. Fellow Taoists, you'd better hurry. There are only 3 items left in this auction. Upon hearing the auctioneer's words, the crowd let out desperate wails. No way, I didn't get a single item photographed. There's no chance anymore. I'm only at the nascent soul stage. How can I compete with other void refinement cultivators? That damned Buddha deserves to die. What's the use of cursing? Be careful that Buddha's dog doesn't hear you. You still have the Buddha seed inside you. Despite everyone's reluctance, the auction continued. A phantom flower appeared on the auction stage, surrounded by various colored lights, and the flower kept cycling between blooming and withering. Just by looking at its appearance, everyone realized that this thing was extraordinary. The auctioneer introduced it as a 6th-grade top-quality causal reversal flower, capable of reversing cause and effect. If the difference in strength is no more than one major realm, it can control the opponent through the Buddha seed. This is a good way to get revenge. Fellow Taoists who need this item should hurry up and make their move. Yes, it has happened. Similar news has circulated about Wanbage before. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the auction stage, some wanting the item to solve their own problems and, incidentally, to counter their opponents. The integrated Buddhist cultivators wanted to control this item themselves, not wanting the void refinement cultivators to obtain it and threaten them. If one were to be controlled by a cultivator at the void refinement stage, it would be truly chilling. Before them, cultivators at the void refinement stage were nothing more than dogs groveling at their feet. They absolutely cannot let this happen. We must get this. At this moment, all the Buddhist practitioners in the room were looking at the auction stage with burning eyes, including the 2 Mahayana Buddhas. Even before the auction began, a covert battle had already started. The starting price is 10 million high-grade spirit stones, and each bid must be at least 1 million high-grade spirit stones. The auction begins. Bang! 20 million. 30 million. 40 million. Everyone present who had the ability to bid went crazy, completely disregarding the skyrocketing auction prices. Some people's faces turned bright red, and veins bulged on their necks. 100 million. 200 million. 300 million. Ultimately, the flower of reversed cause and effect was auctioned off for 1 billion high-grade spirit stones. The one who took it away was the Buddha of Rebirth. 1 billion high-grade spirit stones. Shen Hong jumped up excitedly. For the Shenming Illusion Whale clan, who are currently struggling to make ends meet, 1 billion high-grade spirit stones is a huge sum of money. This reaffirmed his goal of making money, and the Shenming Illusion Whale clan would eventually rise again. Compared to Shen Hong, the face of the Buddha of Rebirth, who was taking pictures of the items at this moment, was somewhat solemn. I'm out of money. The Buddha of Rebirth looked at the Buddha of Joy and spoke slowly. The Buddha of Joy shrugged, indicating that there was nothing he could do. The Buddha of Rebirth said, "Why don't you pawn that great Buddha relic?" Dream on. Chapter 180, Saving the Blood Lotus. Since there were no further bids for the Rebirth Buddha and the Joyful Buddha, these 2 auction items eventually ended up in the hands of other Buddhist practitioners. However, it was the other combined Buddhist practitioners who took it. The Western regions remain the same, unchanged in the slightest. As it turns out, without absolute strength, one cannot overturn the heavens of the Western regions. The auction concluded successfully, and Shen Hong was probably the only beneficiary of the entire event. Inside the Pengyun space, Zhou Yun, now with some free time, finally appeared at the guiding hut. Upon seeing Zhou Yun appear, many cultivators stepped forward to greet him, and Zhou Yun responded with a smile and a nod. Just as Zhou Yun sat down on the recliner, a figure ran up to him. Through the mist, Zhou Yun saw a cute little girl with slightly red eyes. "Little sister, is something the matter?" Zhou Yun asked gently. "Yes, Senior, do you have a way to bring someone back to life?" After asking the question, Lin Xiaoxiao stared intently at Zhou Yun, a hint of fear hidden in her eyes. The mysterious owner of the Pengyun merchant ship standing before her now is her last hope. If even the other side feels there's no way out, then Lord Blood Lotus. Thinking of this, tears began to well up in her eyes. "Oh, that's the question." Zhou Yun looked around at her, his gaze finally settling on Lin Xiaoxiao. He has already awakened the Holy Radiance Moon spirit body, and his cultivation has reached the nascent soul stage. Zhou Yun couldn't help but feel envious. This person directly advanced to the nascent soul stage through physical cultivation, And he also awakened the eternal evergreen body. This person's physique is in no way inferior to the other person's. Unfortunately, his physique was awakened within the Pengyun space, and he did not receive any blessings or rewards from the heavenly Tao, so naturally he did not improve his cultivation. However, he seemed to remember that this little girl used to be with that blood lotus guy. At the time, he also complained about how the two, one righteous and one evil, ended up together. Now she's all alone. It seems that blood lotus is dead. There is no way to bring the dead back to life. At the very least, something must be left behind, such as a true spirit or a divine soul, Zhou Yun said slowly. He didn't say anything to comfort the other person, but simply told them what he knew. However, he felt that the evil creature blood lotus might not be so easy to kill, and might actually be able to revive. After all, he had checked the other party's information back then. None of them can be considered normal lives. They are merely deformed monsters formed from the fusion of flesh and blood. The little girl looked so frail and delicate, as if she was about to cry. Zhou Yun softened and said, "Why don't you tell me what happened? I'll help you analyze it." After listening to Lin Xiaoxiao's story, Zhou Yun's gaze fell on her. "Bring out that lotus platform, let me take a look." Lin Xiaoxiao immediately took out a black lotus platform that was covered in cracks and had no luster. How tragic. After Zhou Yun accepted the lotus platform, he couldn't help but say something. One can imagine how perilous their situation was at the time. Even the black lotus platform had been depleted of its original power and had become a piece of junk. He reached out and carefully examined the black lotus platform. This thing was probably the blood lotus's natal spiritual treasure, containing the blood lotus's aura, but Zhou Yun did not sense a trace of the blood lotus's divine soul power on it. It seems the blood lotus has truly vanished into thin air, leaving nothing behind. There's no way to save it now. Death is simply a part of the natural order. Mortals die, cultivators die, immortals die. The legend of resurrection from the dead, which has been passed down in the cultivation world, refers to the situation where the true spirit and divine soul still exist, and the person can be resurrected with the help of a heaven-defying treasure. Nothing is left behind. That's not resurrection, that's creation. If you create a new person who looks exactly like you, will the person who is resurrected still be the same person from before? It's just self-deception. Well. Zhou Yun sighed and looked at Lin Xiaoxiao. Lin Xiaoxiao gripped the hem of her clothes tightly with both hands, her eyes slightly red as she shook her head. The other person's sigh had already given her the answer, but she didn't want to accept this outcome. She staggered forward, her face pale, and collapsed to the ground, reaching out to touch the cracks on the lotus platform. Lin Xiaoxiao looked up at Zhou Yun, her stubborn gaze carrying a hint of pleading. "Senior, please think of another way." Tears rolled down like beads, soaking into the lotus pedestal. She kept murmuring, "Please save Lady Blood Lotus. Xiaoxiao can't live without Lady Blood Lotus." Looking at the other person's thin and helpless figure, Zhou Yun felt a headache coming on. He's not a god who controls death. What can he do? However, considering how pitiful the other party was, he decided to wait and see. Moreover, he himself was also a little curious. He always felt that Blood Lotus wouldn't die so easily. Just now, Lin Xiaoxiao said that the enemy was two bold men, probably the two remaining Mahayana Buddhas from the western regions, who were also the guys who cultivated the Blood Lotus. Blood Lotus will certainly die, but two Mahayana Buddhist cultivators alone probably won't be able to kill him. This was also what puzzled Zhou Yun. This black lotus platform was the only thing left of the blood lotus, and he did not sense any trace of divine soul remnants on it. Since we can't figure it out, we have to resort to our trump card, which will at least reveal some clues. They immediately began to check the information related to the black lotus platform. Item: Devouring Buddha Black Lotus. Type: Companion Spirit Treasure. Level: None, broken. Level increases with owner. Efficacy: the substance nurtured by the reverse lotus and the Buddha's body has no effect at present. Details: this is a seed of hope. Nourished with abundant Buddhist and Taoist primordial power, It may once again unleash the light of the Black Lotus. It can guide the free-floating soul power of the Blood Lotus, allowing it to be reborn. After reading the introduction, Zhou Yun frowned and his gaze fell on the last sentence. The Blood Lotus can indeed revive, but the speed needs to be accelerated, as the free-floating divine soul power is very fragile. If the power of the Blood Lotus's divine soul dissipates and the reverse lotus devouring Buddha body is reborn, it will probably not be the Blood Lotus itself anymore. After reading the message, Zhou Yun looked at Lin Xiaoxiao. There is a way. Lin Xiaoxiao excitedly raised her head. Really? Is there really a way to revive Lord Blood Lotus? Zhou Yun nodded and said, yes, but it will be very difficult. You need to be prepared. Xiaoxiao is not afraid. As long as Lord Blood Lotus can be saved, Xiaoxiao is not afraid of anything, Lin Xiaoxiao said firmly. Looking at the other person's serious expression, Zhou Yun couldn't understand how such a cute little thing could have such deep feelings for a demon. Without much hesitation, I told the other party the solution and gave them some instructions. Quickly, just remember to be quick. Otherwise, even if you use the power of the Buddha's origin to activate the Black Lotus of devouring Buddha, the one that will be born in the end will no longer be the Blood Lotus Lord you know. Lin Xiaoxiao nodded seriously. Xiaoxiao understands. Watching the other person's departing figure, Zhou Yun said one more thing. It would be best to place the Black Lotus where it will self-destruct. Lin Xiaoxiao bowed and said, thank you, Senior.